Welcome to a special live edition of Astrology Numerology Now. I'm your host, Z Starman, and the purpose of this show, if you're just watching it for the first time, is that we bring you real astrology and real numerology in real time. And speaking of real numerology, I would like to welcome my studio audience here in New York City and my special guest co-host for the evening, the one, the only, Mr. Numbers himself, LLOYD STRAYHORN. LLOYD.
Thank you.
LLOYD, welcome back to Astrology Numerology Now.
Thank you, Z. This is my second time back, and I got to tell you, the first response was great.
Well, thank you. We have some new viewers
to
Astrology Numerology Now. We would like to welcome everybody in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, BCAT on BCAT Network in Brooklyn. Welcome to Astrology Numerology Now. Since the show is live, one of the things we're going to talk about, LLOYD, is what's going on in the heavens today.
Yes.
And one of the things that are going on in the heavens today is Venus is retrograde. Now, we've heard over the years about Mercury retrograde. Mercury is retrograde. And Mercury retrogrades about 3 or 4 times a year, but Venus retrogrades maybe once every 18 months. And that's when Venus gets ahead of the sun. Right now, as we speak, for you seasoned astrologers out there, Venus is in the sign of Scorpio. We have 3 planets in Scorpio. We have the moon in Scorpio, we have Mercury in Scorpio, the moon, Mars, and Venus in the sign of Scorpio. So when Venus gets ahead of the sun is in the sign of Libra as we speak, it's time for Venus to go retrograde. What's the correlation between a Venus retrograde and numbers?
Well, for example, when you say Venus, to me, Venus not only rules the planets affecting Libra and Taurus, respectively, because it governs those 2 signs, but numerically, it also rules the number 6. So it tells me that anyone born on the 6th as well as the 15th, because 1 + 5 is 6, or the 24th, because 2 + 4 is 6, would be affected directly and indirectly as well.
Now, case in point, everybody's heard about Bishop Eddie Long.
Yes, he's a Taurus, by the way.
He's a Taurus, and
yes,
Taurus May 12th, and Taurus
1953.
rules the sign of, as you said, Venus rules Taurus and Libra.
Exactly.
Now, check this out, LLOYD. Bishop Long, he has the moon in Taurus and sun in Taurus. So he's born on the new moon. And everybody out there, the studio audience included, when it says that you're a Taurus or a Gemini like myself, my sun sign, I'm talking only about my sun sign. Like LLOYD, he's an Aquarius. His sun sign is Aquarius, but all the other planets, including the moon, they're in other signs too, and that makes up the totality of your astrological profile. So these are some of the things that we can expect from a Venus retrograde. Some of the things that I see, LLOYD, that are interesting, since Venus rules love and relationships, I see that a lot of people will be reconciling with one another. A lot of people will be breaking up and falling apart. These are some of the things that I see on a Venus retrograde, including not buying luxury items. Maybe you want to hold off on taking that Caribbean cruise between between October 8th and November 18th. It's a 6-week retrograde. So if you start to break up with your boyfriend, you argue with your wife or your husband, realize that Venus is in effect. The retrograde is in effect.
You know, for those who may not understand, when any planet is retrograde, it is simply a way of saying that it doesn't go along at its normal speed.
Exactly.
So therefore, things that would normally go at its longer speed are therefore slowed up or goes back. So thus, with Venus now being retrograde, and what's interesting, there are several other planets. Neptune is retrograde now, Uranus.
In the sign of Aquarius.
So
Jupiter's in the sign of Pisces and all that kind of stuff.
So it's all those kinds of things happening. So it means things are not going at its normal pace. So if there are delays in commitments, let's say, and especially for those that are planning weddings over the next 6 weeks. It just simply means that it's not that the wedding is going to fall flat. It just means that it's just double check everything. Don't assume that everything is a given.
Exactly.
That's all.
How you doing?
I'm not so good.
What's your name?
Iris.
Iris, say hello to LLOYD STRAYHORN.
Hi,
Hello,
Iris.
LLOYD.
Fine.
Tell us your birthday.
10/29/63.
10/29/63. Lloyd, you started off.
Okay, well, first of all, you are a water sign with a water number.
Right.
Okay, see, just as each zodiac sign is governed by element in nature, each number is also governed by element in nature also. So being a Scorpio 2 person, it means highly sensitive, deeply intuitive, can feel things more than you would might not to go through at times. For example, if you're around negative people, the first thing that'll start probably acting up is her stomach, because if you look at the number 2, it's almost shaped like the intestines.
Right, exactly.
And therefore, number 2 people tend to have concerns with the digestive tract. And you know, the elders would say, boy, that person makes me sick on my stomach.
Yeah.
That's Iris.
One thing about Iris, you're going through a lot right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And the reason why is she has 4 planets in the sign of Scorpio. She has Mercury in Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio, Neptune in Scorpio, and Venus is in the sign of Scorpio. So there's a lot of activity going on in the sign of Scorpio with Mars and Venus and the moon as we speak. Now, Iris, I don't want you to do anything to hurt yourself, okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to contemplate suicide or anything like that.
Okay.
Are you contemplating that? I see you're very depressed right now, Iris.
Yes, I am.
And you could be contemplating something that may be harmful. Are you?
No.
Thank God for that. But I just want you to know that your moon sign is Aries. And starting in the spring, or let's say even sooner, January, mid-January, Jupiter, Lloyd, will be back into the sign of Aries. Uranus will be back into the sign of Aries. They're in Pisces as we speak. But get out of your depression, Iris.
That's what I am.
You're very depressed right now. Go ahead, Lloyd.
Well, let me explain it this way too. There are certain cycles that affect all of us. He's talking about an astrological set. The Rosicrucians orders has a set of cycles that go from birthday to birthday. It's very simple. It is broken into 7 divisions of 52 days each.
Right.
Well, the last phase, the last 52 days coming back around to the birthday, is called a person's critical cycle,
right,
when they're under the most stress or challenge. So since this is now the 8th of October, this has been going on about the last month and a half. So if she's really been a little under the weather.
Her birthday is 3 weeks from today.
Exactly.
And, you know, sometimes on my birthday, I'm saying, oh, wow, it's another birthday.
But, you know, it's interesting because Marvin Gaye was shot and killed one day before his birthday.
That's right.
On April 1st of 1984 in Washington. Teddy Pendergrass, who was paralyzed, that took place in his critical cycle.
Wow.
In fact, he had 2 accidents before the third one left him finally paralyzed. And then to give you one more example, remember aviatrix Amelia Earhart?
Of course.
I think they're making a movie.
Of course.
Well, she disappeared when she took that fatal flight on July the 2nd. Her birthday was July 24th. And in other words, she was in her critical 52-day cycle.
52-day
so
cycle.
I would have told her to wait till her birthday, July 24th, and then start from there.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
How you
Hi.
doing?
I'm fine.
Say your name and your birthday.
Okay, I'm LaJean Monique Scarborough. My birthday is December 13th, 1967.
December 13th, 1967.
Yeah, she's born the same day as Jamie Foxx.
Jamie
and a
Foxx.
couple of other persons.
December 13th. Well, you give her
Another Sagittarius, a 4-person like you, would be Jay-Z. Except he's not born on the 13th, but he's born on the 4th of December. Okay? So what that tells me is she is a fire sign with an air number.
Okay.
So since fire and air gets together and they make for combustion, that's why they'll tell you if you're in a house or in a hotel and there's a fire, the last thing you do is open a window or door so
right.
air starts it.
That's right.
This is how she is. So she's high-powered, get up and go, but she likes to think outside the box.
That's right.
So if everybody does something one way, in her unique way, she does it another way.
Now, see, and I'm looking at LaJean's chart, and she has Venus in Scorpio.
Uh-huh.
So that retrograde, once again, the Venus retrograde is making a conjunction, as we say in astrological terms, to your natal Venus. And I just want you to know that your moon sign is Taurus. You're a Sagittarius with the moon in Taurus. What does that mean? Your moon sign is your emotional life. So basically what you're having going on right here, I think she's within that 52-day period.
Yeah, she's not quite there, but she's almost there.
But she's on her way there. Again, you have Venus in Scorpio, and that retrograde is going to mess with you. It's time for you to rearrange your love life, rearrange your finances. If there's anyone who's living in your house or anything like that, kick them out. It's just time for you to, yeah.
That was done already.
It's done already? But see, those are the same things with Venus retrograde. It's about your lovers. And maybe old lovers come back. I always notice that during a Venus retrograde, old lovers always come back. You know, time goes by so fast. We got a couple of minutes left on the show. Lloyd, we're 2/3 of the way through 2010.
Yes.
2011 is on the horizon.
Right.
We're coming up on a number 4 personal year.
Universal year.
Oh, excuse me, universal year. We're up on that number 4 universal year. And October is always the preview month for the following year or the next year.
Right.
Because you let the studio audience and our viewers know what should we expect in a 2011 year. I remember the last time you were on the show, President Obama, he's a 4, he's born on August 4th.
Yes.
And you said that it would favor him a lot. So break down that 2011.
Well, 2011, when you do the math on it, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. 4 is ruled by Uranus that governs the sign of Aquarius. Mercury has its exaltation in Uranus,
exactly,
which means Geminis and Leos will do well also. The fact that President Obama is born on the 4th and the year is a 4 would add to his astrological armament, so to speak. And what's interesting is this: although they're talking about the year for the next coming election of 2012, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 equals 5. Well, the president's numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, which means he's going to do well next year, 2011, and the year to follow. So I would say the debate should be who they're going to be running for 2016.
I want to thank everybody for watching tonight's edition, a special edition of Astrology Numerology Now. Until next time, this is Z Starman saying keep your head to the sky and reach for the stars. See you next time.
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
That was
Z.
nice. Stealing on weekend mind.
Libra, the cheerful and merry one. Pisces, you fish. You are a romantic, constantly striving to escape from reality into the blessed land of your dreams.
Whatever your sign may be,